Hi, I'm Dan Aubuchon, and welcome back to the Joy of Tennis Teaching. We're going to revisit a topic that is really near and dear to my heart, and it's the idea of something that I call teaching opportunities. I was having a great discussion the other night with a young professional who's got a young boy student, beginning student. He's brand new to the game, but he absolutely loves tennis. His parents have tried him in other sports, and he didn't really take to it that much, but he really wanted to do tennis. And they've tried him with a few different coaches, and he came back, and most of the tennis lessons he had, he didn't think they were fun. So my friend is trying his best to make it all very fun for the student, and he's doing a great job of teaching him the fundamentals, and they're having a great time together. But he told me an interesting story. He told me, he said the young boy was missing a lot of balls, and he was getting a little bit, not upset, but just a little bit down in the dumps about the fact that he was missing so much. And he wants to do well. He really likes tennis a lot. And so this young professional did a great job of, being very empathetic and telling him that everybody misses the ball, even the professionals miss the ball sometimes, and that he, the coach, still to this day misses balls sometimes. And he was telling me this story, and I thought, geez, what a missed opportunity. And by that I mean it was fine to empathize and make the young student feel better about the game, but you didn't progress him past that adversity. You didn't teach him how to deal with the adversity and come out above it or beyond it. And that's what I mean by a teaching opportunity. There are a few times that are very critical in a tennis lesson where your student is open and extra receptive to hearing it. This morning I did a little research, and I said, what are the statistics on how much information people retain when they hear a lecture? And the statistics are it's no more than 5% of what they hear in a lecture do they retain. I guess this explains why I know so little from my college lectures, other than the fact that I didn't attend enough of them. But the real problem here is, as tennis teachers, we don't want to lecture. The students are not going to retain enough of it. So in an hour lesson, there's only a few times where the student is extra receptive to hearing your message. What are those times? Well, the first one is if the student has done something exceptionally well. This gives you an opportunity to teach them why it went so well and to reinforce their success. Because they're feeling good about it and reinforcing it, they might remember that. The second time is when they've done something really wrong. They've made a big mistake, like our young student who was swinging and missing the ball. They want to get over that mistake, so that's a big teaching opportunity to teach them why that mistake happens and how to correct it. And finally, the biggest of all the teaching opportunities is when your student asks you a question. Back in the early 90s, when I was the director of tennis at Rancho Las Palmas, I had the opportunity to coach two young Indonesian girls, two teenage girls who were very talented. And it was such a pleasure coaching them. Their physical skills could go on. But culturally, there is no way on earth that a teenage Indonesian girl is going to ask a question of an adult male coach. It's just not allowed in their culture. And so at the end of every lesson, I'd say, all right, what was your highlight of today's session, today's training? And they would give me some good answers. And then I would always finish with, okay, any questions, girls? stone silence, never a question from these two girls. And it was I was yearning to hear a question. One day we went over to Desert Springs, and I was up on the roof with the video camera filming my two girls playing a match on court number 4, which is right there in front of the pro shop. And on court 3, Jim Leupold was giving a lesson to a local high school player. I believe her name was Stacy. And she was a very talented young girl, but nowhere near the talent level of my two Indonesian girls. And Jim was doing a good job teaching his lesson, and I'm videotaping my girls playing their match, but I couldn't help but observe and listen in on Jim's lesson. And at one point, Jim's student said, "Geez, Jim, I just don't know what's wrong with my backhand." I almost jumped off the roof. I was like, I know, Stacy. I so wanted to have a student ask me a question after months of no questions from my Indonesian girls. So those are the 3 times, and I hope you'll focus on the fun and activity of the lessons, but hunt for those teaching opportunities. Hunt for them the way a pro player hunts for a forehand put away. Look for them, wait for them. Try to create them in giving your student difficult balls that they can succeed on, or difficult balls, and then watch their physical reaction and see, are they really upset about that miss? Perfect time to ask the question. And when you ask the questions, that will be a time to get that dialogue going and get your students to give you that teaching opportunity. Beautiful day here in Indian Wells. I'm not sure how much longer we're going to be able to go outside, but I thank you all for tuning in. I'll get another blind tennis clinic coming up this week, and we'll inform you what's happening with that program as well. Thanks very much, and go out there and hunt those joyful teaching opportunities.